Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
Legend of the Mystical Ninja was released in 1992 by Konami for the Super Nintendo. In Legend of the Mystical Ninja, you take on the role of Kid Ying and Dr. Yang, who've noticed some strange occurrences in their town and decide to investigate. Why is everybody screaming? During their trip, they find that Princess Yuki has been kidnapped by the Otafu army. In their quest to find the princess, they scour Japan looking for clues. Each zone consists of 2 areas. The first is a town setting where players can buy items and talk to people. The second is a platforming section, each with unique enemies and bosses. You've probably already noticed that despite changing the names, objects, and locations, the game is still very heavily steeped in Japanese culture. This game is part of the Ganbare Goemon series and was the first ever to make its way outside of Japan. It was followed by 2 Game Boy games and 2 N64 games. So only 5 out of around 40 games were released in North America and European countries, counting mobile and Pachi-slot games. There were even 2 animated OVAs with references to some of Konami's other games. And if the games that we did get are any indication, we're totally missing out. The utter Japaneseness of the game caused several changes to be made. In this version, Goemon and Ebisumaru are renamed to Kid Ying and Dr. Yang, respectively. Rice balls become slices of pizza, public bathhouses become spas. The things that remain unchanged, however, give the game a great humorous character that you don't often see. Sure, the enemies range from absurd to bizarre, and many cultural references may not make a lot of sense to the average Western player, but it all adds to the game's charm. Why does Kid Ying whack people with a pipe? Well, a kiseru is a traditional Japanese pipe meant for smoking a finely shredded tobacco. During the Edo period in Japan, weapons were used as a means of flaunting your status. Commoners weren't allowed to carry bladed weapons, so they would instead sling these elaborate pipes around their waists to serve the same purpose. And now you know, and knowing is half the battle. In each town area, you can buy armor and food items, train to get special powers used in the platforming zones, or play a number of great mini-games. Money for these comes from beating up all the wacky characters roaming around towns, as well as lottery, horse races, gambling, and a few mini-games. Money can also be used as a weapon. Throwing the coins does just as much damage at a far greater distance, but has the disadvantage of course, costing you money. The game penalizes you for beating up women. What a great message. But then it gives you money for touching them. That's not such a great message. I discovered pretty quickly, though, that you can just play the whack-a-mole game on the lowest difficulty over and over again. You'll win around 300 every time, and you'll never have to worry about money. Some of the minigames are a great deal of fun. There's even a minigame that's the first full level of Gradius. On the other side are the platforming sections. These are where the real game is, jumping, fighting, and finding secrets. These zones are every bit as fun as the others, though of course they're a bit more difficult. The levels are well designed, but the boss fights are where this section really shines. The boss fights are cleverly designed and usually pretty difficult, but as with most classic boss fights, there's always a pattern to exploit. And this guy throws his hair at you. How awesome is that? Seriously, I can't say enough about the boss fights. They're great. After the fights, there's generally a bit of story given and a cutscene following the travels of our characters. No time to explain? No. This is a talking ninja cat. Is an explanation too much to ask? Apparently it is. The difficulty level is perfect, sometimes challenging, but never unfair or infuriating. And unlike some modern games, you won't be disappointed with the ending. So I've had nothing but great things to say about this game so far. What's the catch, you ask? One word. Passwords. Before the creation of the save battery, passwords were the only way to record your progress. Often these would keep the number of characters low by saving only location and items. This isn't the case here. Your location, items, number of lives, amount of health, and money are all included. As such, this password is this long. I spent more time putting in, writing down, and screwing up passwords than I did playing the game. And in 2-player mode, the password is twice as long. There is absolutely no reason why this game couldn't have had a save battery. It's a Super Nintendo game. We were supposed to have been past this. But I digress. Beyond this one massive annoyance, the game is great. It's wacky, fun, and just challenging enough to keep you going. Even the mini-games are worth playing. With a value of around $12, the game isn't cheap, but would still be a 5 out of 5 if not for this infuriating password system. With that, Legend of the Mystical Ninja is a 4 out of 5. Even with the higher price and the one fatal flaw, I can't recommend it enough. If you get the chance, buy it. In this version, Goemon and Ebisumaru, right. In this version, Goemon and Ebisumaru are named... In this version, Goemon and Ebisumaru are... In this game, Goemon and Ebisumaru. In this version, Goemon and... In this version, Goemon and... Really?